But my experiences here was nothing like BRG. Let me tell you, BRG was worse.
Was it?
10 times. Oh, girl, they are so racist over in St. Joe. It's not even funny. I hate to say it, but a lot of people already know that it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact. And even the way I was treated at times, it was just like you could tell there was just a little something, something about me that stirred you. You know what I mean? And I already knew it. I felt it because I've been dealing with racism. I would say my whole life, but that's not true. Since I was 11 years old, there was a one time in particular. My father is he's retired now, but he was the superintendent of a high-rise building in the middle of Manhattan on the Upper West Side. Now, everyone in that building owns their condo, right?
Yep.
So I had people like the president of Paramount that lived there. Maury Povage's mother-in-law lived there. Very people with money lived there, right? So I remember coming in one day and I was getting ready to go to my apartment. And I'm getting on the elevator and one of the residents of the building goes, "Aren't you supposed to take the service elevator?"
Wow. You were
I didn't know what to
11?
say. No, I was 11 years old. And another lady was walking in and she said, "Well, aren't you supposed to?" And the lady goes, "Why are you talking to her like that? What's going on?" And she goes, "Well, isn't she supposed to take the service elevator?" And this is Pat Kaufman that spoke up for me. I wanted to be her kid's babysitter, all that. We're friends till today. I'm friends with her kids till today and all of that. And she said, "Why would she need to take the service elevator?" And she goes, "Well, isn't her father?" She's like, "Yeah, but she's still human. Get on this elevator." She goes, and she pulls me on the elevator with her, and she goes, "Don't talk to her like that." And presses number 2 and goes ahead and lets me off the elevator. And that was the first time I had ever encountered racism. Yeah. And I was like, "Who the hell says that?" Like, because I was like, I'm not a slave. I was like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not, I'm not the house Negro. I'm like, where did that come from? But I knew I felt uncomfortable, but it didn't dawn on me until later on what actually was happening. Yeah. Like I knew that something wasn't right about that, but I just didn't know exactly what.
Yeah.
Like I was like, maybe it's because I am the super's daughter. Maybe, I should be taking the service elevator, but it wasn't until later. And Pat was the one who pointed out to me, "Don't you ever let anybody talk to you like that." Right. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I get those same kinds of feelings when I deal with people that I know don't have my best interest at heart or are underlying trying to make me feel some type of way. And I've gotten that a lot in my lifetime.
Do you feel like in roller derby, is it pretty blatant, or do you think it's sort of,
They try not to be blatant about it. Yeah. They're not that, they're not that blatant about it, but you can tell. Like you can feel when someone is not for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. They'll say certain things and it'll be a trigger like, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, I get it. I'm not your cup of tea. It's cool. You know what I mean?
What do you think they just don't understand, or, what do you think it is that makes them act?
I think a lot of people haven't been exposed to people like me. I think, especially like places in St. Joe, that to me, it's still segregated up there. To me, the white folk, maybe it's a little more mixed now, but for me, the white folk live on the north end and the black folk live on the south end. That's how it is. I really believe that way because that's what I saw. I saw the white folk live on the north end and black folk live on the south end. It is what it is, and you can see the divide, especially when Trump came into office, how bad it was. I had to cut off a lot of people that were in Derby with me, and a lot of people cut me off because of the same, because I'm like, wow, so you're okay with the way he speaks and the way he, whatever. And to me, I was like, and they were cheering it on. It was just like, grab them by the pussy, but it's okay. You know, I'm like, wow, you would, okay. It
Yeah.
says a lot about who you are. You know, when the whole thing was Mexicans coming across the border, that was the telltale sign for me that the racism,
Yeah.
because I'm like, wow. So these people are trying to escape a horrible situation, but wow. Like, oh, I don't have a problem with them coming. They just need to come the right way. I'm like, these are people that are desperate and are in danger and they're not doing well, but they're all being labeled and you think that's okay. That's creepy.
Yeah,
That's
one of the things my husband and I talk a lot about is I wonder if we were to ask any of those people, well, what is the right way, if they knew,
right.
you know,
Right.
and
Okay.
yeah, they don't.
Running for your life.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like,
And that they're willing to die in order to cross a border. That's the heartbreaking part to me, I think, is they're willing to experience what they end up experiencing because it's so bad where they are.
right.
Yeah. Did you notice, I was in the same boat as you where I found myself, even family members, I was like, I can't, people that I used to look up to that I was like, I don't see eye to eye. You are not somebody, and like you were saying earlier, you're not one of my people. I just have to cut things off. But did you see a noticeable difference? I brought up Puerto Rico earlier. I mean, I think the ignorance about Puerto Rico being even,
Oh my God, girl.
it's one of our, they're American, like, did you,
But
but
my own husband, I was like, dude, we're American. We're
yeah,
not what?
yeah,
Believe that.
yeah,
I was like, oh my God. But am I surprised? Really? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The ignorance is real. And it's not so much that the ignorance is real, is that that's what they want to believe anyway.
yeah,
You know, underlying racism is inbred into people, unfortunately. Um, it just is. Their parents spoke a certain way, they acted a certain way, they felt a certain way, and that's bestowed onto people. It's a generational thing. You know, this is not new. This is generational. How is it that and unfortunately, because we had what we had in the office, it's become blatant now. Like where before people would talk about it, it'd be in the background, but they had more respect. Now it's just out there. It's like, hey, no holds barred. I mean, look at all the black men dying in record numbers now at the hands of the police, and nothing's happening because it's like out there now. It's okay. It's open season now. You can say and do what you want.
yeah. That's definitely been one of the heartbreaking things that I've seen. And just, I think in my interview with Tracy too, some of the things that she brought up that, I don't necessarily expect people to understand that, yes, when you drive through Kansas City, like you said about St. Joe, you also see that racial divide. I don't expect people to just know that exists, but I do expect them to ask questions and start to dig into, well, why does that exist? And I know not everybody does. I think me as a journalist, that's part of what I want to do.
Right.
And I want to be able to educate people. But it's shocking to me how unwilling people are to just even process, being like, Puerto Rico is part of America. And for them to be like, they fight it, it's like, no, this is a fact, so, but did you feel like that? Could you see, even in roller derby, could you see a difference after the hurricane came through and the way that Trump reacted? Could you see a difference in the way that people treated you?
I didn't see a negative difference. I have to say that. Like there were more, well, they were more compassionate because I do have family in Puerto Rico, and I made it very known that I have family in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And I think people aren't going to be so blatant in front of me if they were racist, because like I said, I'm not gonna sugarcoat how I feel or what I see in you.
Mm-hmm.
At that, and I couldn't. I'm one of those people that couldn't hold back. I'm gonna it's going to come out. And people know this about me. So,
Yeah.
and they're going to be more inclined to not say things that's going to be racist in front of me, because I'm going to say something. I'm not going to stay quiet, you know.
Yep.
But I got a lot of positive feedback in regards to, do you need anything? Is your family okay? I've had several people that have helped me send stuff to my family in
Oh,
Puerto
that's
Rico.
awesome. Good.
So I have to say that I got donations from some people, and they were like, what does your family need? What do we can do? You know, that I did get that.
Good.
And then I didn't get much feedback from others, you know, and that's fine. I'm not asking, you know, for anyone to, you know, feel some type of way or whatever, you know, it doesn't affect you, it's fine.
Yeah.
But as far as that's concerned, no. Of course, I try to put blinders on when I go to Derby, and I don't try to get too personal with people, because I get personal with the people that I know that I can be comfortable and open with. My teammates, I have awesome teammates on both teams. So I'm blessed in that sense. I had awesome coaches too, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't go in with the expectation. I'm like, let me play my derby, let me kiki, haha, and keep it pushing so that so it doesn't get that serious. I don't ever want to go to derby and feel like it's just, I won't go. I would never have a and I love the sport so much that I just don't want those outside things to affect what I'm doing,
Yeah.
you know?
But it sounds like it's preventing you from getting close to people in some ways. I mean, I guess,
In
you
some
know,
ways, it's
yeah. So if you know you're going to be accepted, that's one thing, but you're kind of
fine.
putting a bubble around yourself in some ways too.
I do in a lot of sense. Like I'll go to stuff and I'll, you know, but I don't, yeah, because I don't want to, God, we get enough crap everywhere else, work, you know, the bus stop, I mean, the store, I mean, I get it enough everywhere else that's the one place I'm just like, nah, I can't do that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't want to. I don't want to open up that door for you to upset me to the point that I know I don't want to. That's kind of why I stepped down from being part of that, because I was like, I was consumed with it. And then I felt uncomfortable. And I was like, you know what? I did Derby, so I wouldn't, so I had a good place to go to naturally where I wouldn't have to, you know, and I cried a lot as part of the leadership. I did. And some people know that and other people don't, but those that are close to me know how bad it did affect me.